Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Tamara Stash a Bit Weird.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Wednesday, the 10th of February, 2016, and this is episode 179. We'll hit the 180s next week.
Yep.
Getting ever closer to that 200. Well, we'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. To all our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. So this past week has been a week of illness in our family. It started with the hubs getting a cold, which he then passed on to me, and now it's been passed on to Dammy. So if there's sneezes or sniffling or coughs, we apologize in advance. Okay? Dammy, we had several people who joined the group this week and introduced themselves, so why don't you give them a shout out?
Okay. Lisa, who is Kentucky Girl 1961 from Kentucky. Lena, who is Saul Skinnet Goons, I hope I said that right.
Yeah.
Sweden. Wendy, who is Wendy Ham from Arizona. And Chanika, who is Crochet by Chanika from Washington.
Welcome, we're glad you joined the group and introduced yourself. Dammy, if somebody is not a member of our Ravelry group, what should they do and why?
Join and introduce yourself in our introductions thread, and we will give you a shout out on our next episode, and you will be able to participate in our cows and giveaways.
Which, speaking of giveaways, we have 2 prizes to award today, and a prize to award next week. So, yeah, you should join the group. Alright, well, we have several things to talk about, so we probably should get started. Here we go.
And now I'm going to talk about what's on our needles.
So what's on your needles, Dammy?
I am still working on this super secret coffee shawl. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, actually, stay tuned for the end of the podcast where I will tell you in more detail about my upcoming book and a special change of plans that should make a lot of people happy. So stay tuned for that. But that's what she's knitting is the sample for the book.
It's on US 2.5 3mm, and the yarn is Rainbow Heirloom Lush Light in the Killer Flamingo, Apparition, and Blue Raspberry colorways.
They're so tiny.
Yes.
That means you're almost done.
Yes.
So you said you have enough to finish this big repeat and then the ending section?
Yes.
And so because you don't have enough to do a whole nother of the bigger sections.
Yeah.
This will all make sense when you actually see the shawl. Photo shoot is next Monday. So you've got to have it done by Saturday so it can block on Sunday. So we can do photos on Monday.
Yep.
It's gotten here so quickly. So quickly. You working on anything else?
No.
Okay.
So what's on your needles?
I've got 4 projects on the needles right now. First up is of course the bag's on the bottom. Can you hold those? Thank you. Is my zigzag blanket, which I lovingly have called When You Think I'll Zig, I'll Zag. Then when you think I'm going to zag, I do zag, just to mess you up for the next time when I might zig blanket. Gilmore Girls reference. So this is the 10-stitch zigzag pattern by Frankie Brown. I'm doing it on US 4s, 3.5 mil needles, and let's see what I've got here. So I finished the stripe I was working on last week. I'm trying to find... Oh, thank you for catching yarn for me. Okay, so there we go. So starting right there at that thing, I knit the pink zigzag and then this multicolor, and then had to finish off with the gray because I ran out of the other 2. And then I have just started knitting with this yarn, which is actually hand spun. Can you see? I don't know if you can see there's purples and stuff in it. Maybe if I hold the yarn. Yeah, now you can kind of see the purples. I'm not sure what it is though. Let's see what it is. This is from the Border Tart. It was a merino blend with alpaca, angora, banana fiber, cotton, linen, mohair, soya fiber, and silk in it. So it was kind of a big mix. And I have 155 yards of a 3-ply. So that should be plenty to get that done. This is getting very full in my bag. See, I don't have a ton of room left, so I think at some point this blanket is going to have to be one that like sits on the arm of the sofa and I pull it over to work on it and then put it back on the arm of the sofa to be safe. Of course, I'm in the middle of a row of my next project. Hold on, just give me, can you tell them something exciting? Interesting? Anything?
I have nothing exciting.
We watched movie trailers this week.
Yeah.
You can tell them about movie trailers. Because there was a bunch for the Super Bowl.
I thought that those would be yummies if
Oh.
we talked about them at all.
Oh. I was just trying to get you to talk about something so I could finish this row.
Oh.
I'm trying to get you to stall for me so that I can knit these last 3, 2, 1 stitches. Okay. This is my puntilla sweater, which is a pattern by Joji Locatelli. It's on US 3s, 3.25 mil needles, and US 5s, 3.75 mil needles. And the yarn is Knitting in France Sparkles in the Something About CC colorway. And then the edging will be, I don't know, you can't see it, but I can grab it. Maybe. That. There we go. This is Ripples Crafts hand-dyed yarns in the Piquin colorway. So, last week, I had not finished, I'd finished the bottom. I was working on the neckband, so I finished that. And then I picked up for the sleeves, and I knit all of this sleeves thus far. Where this marker is right here, I need to do 5 inches more beyond that before I do the cuff. And it's going to be a little bit shorter than a normal sleeve because after I finish the other sleeve, then I'll pick back up and do a lace portion that'll make it about 1 inch longer. So, yeah, so that's probably 1 inch. I have about 4 inches to go on this one before I do the cuff. My words. And then I cast on a new pair of socks. You have them in my pumpkin spice sock bag. And this is, I'm calling these Hugs and Kisses loop socks. You'll see why in Yummies. I'll show you something. Okay, so I'm using leftovers to do these socks. This is my free vanilla cappuccino sock pattern on Ravelry, and I'm on US 1.5's 2.5 mil needles. The yarns I'm using, the top one is Holiday Yarns Flop Sock in the Pink Lady colorway, and the bottom one is Knitting in France Sparkles in the Gradient Pink colorway. So I've just barely started. I've done the toe, so I did that in the Pink Lady, and now I have added the Gradient Pink, which this is leftovers from my Strawberries and Cream Frappe sock pattern. So I will continue the foot in the Gradient Pink, and then I'll do the heel in the Pink Lady and the cuff in the Pink Lady. So, yeah. So there's that. And then I am working on the Spectrum Shawl, also by Joji Locatelli. I'm on US 6's 4 mil needles, and I'm using Bluebonnet Fibers hand spun in the Sushi Yarn Along colorway. And I am using Ginger's Hand Dyed Bleeding Velvet 4-ply in the Dove colorway. This is hand dyed by Jess of Ginger Twist Studio. And I have gotten a lot done on this week because for winter camp that I'm participating in, which is the big host of it is the Canadian Knitter podcast. The theme for February is something to wear around your neck. And you get bonus points if you do a project that you finish in February. I've already gotten the bonus points for February for the color and for the one of the featured designers. So I need to finish this by the end of February for the neck bonus points. And if I don't get my puntilla done by the end of February, it's not a big deal because I'll still have March to finish it. But I have to finish this before then. So that was a long explanation. So last week when you saw it, I had only done that much right there. Now I have done this much. It's hard to see how it's like doing kind of the chevron zigzag type thing at this point. But I love how the color is subtly gradiating. I don't think I have very much more to do with the hand spun before it turns into being completely gray for the rest. So I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun to knit. And I love, like I said, how the color is gradiating through it. So it's been a lot of fun to knit. My voice is going. Sorry about that. That's everything that I'm working on. So that means I have some FOs.
Yep.
So we should move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished projects.
So I have 2 this week. First up is my weekly preemie hat, which is from my free top-down preemie hat pattern on Ravelry. It's on US 6's 4mm needles. This is number 6 for the year. I am not thrilled with this hat and how it turned out.
Why?
I thought that the 2 yarns I used were similar gauge or similar thickness, but once I got past the stripe and continued on with the rest, it wasn't, and I don't like how it turned out, really. But and I knit this the biggest size of my pattern because yeah, I don't know, just because I did. So this is Rowan Lima in the Puna colorway, and then the gray and white is from my first spinning project. And I blocked it on a balloon. So, yeah. You love some, you hate some. That's just how it is. So, can you hold that? And then I finished a pair of socks this week. This is also from my free vanilla cappuccino sock pattern on Ravelry on US 1.5's 2.5mm needles, and this is Ginger's hand-dyed Swell You sock in the puffin colorway. It was one of the colorways for the Geeky Puffin at Palooza retreat. So there it is. It's a little brighter in person. You're not getting as much of the green as there really is. This is a pair of socks for my friend Kelly Cron on Ravelry. She and I are doing a swap, and so I knit her a pair of socks. I really like how they turned out, and she does too. She saw the picture on Instagram and she likes them. So, yeah. So that was fun, and that's why I've cast on another pair of socks, because I finished these. And those are the 2 things I finished this week. All right, well, why don't we move on to the next segment? And now it's time for our favorite part of the show. Yummies! What are yummies, Mare?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. Well, since we mentioned movie trailers earlier, maybe we should start with those.
Okay.
So I'm trying to remember what all we watched.
X-Men.
X-Men Apocalypse?
Yes.
Captain America Civil War?
Yes.
The new Jason Bourne movie. The live-action Jungle Book, which I hated. That is not...
Why?
I don't know. I was just like, I have no interest in it. No interest. What else? There was something else.
I don't know.
There was apparently something like 25 movie trailers during the Super Bowl, which we didn't watch the Super Bowl either. We just watched these the next day. I'll try to see what else there was. Maybe put a link to it in the show notes. If you watched the Super Bowl, you probably saw them all. But, so when is X-Men coming?
May.
And when is Captain America coming?
May.
Yeah, we don't go to the cinema very often. We'll have to make a decision in May.
There's a third one coming out in May too. I can't remember what it is.
Somebody's yelling it at us.
Hmm.
But I don't remember what it is either. We'll have to make a decision. Because the hub's birthday is in May, so we take him to see a movie.
Oh, Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, Star Trek. There wasn't a new trailer for that, though, was there?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because if there was, we didn't see it. Yeah, so, movie trailers. I don't know what is going on here. I am, like, twist-turned all around and can't figure out how I'm supposed to be knitting this sleeve. So, next up, my friend Amy, who is Amy's Not Dead Yet on Etsy, we've shown her stuff a gazillion times. She's been a very generous sponsor of the podcast. So I support her on, what are we doing? Oh, the sun.
Okay.
I support her on Patreon. Did I already say that?
No.
Okay. Well, the level that I support her at, look, it's on my hands too. The level I support her at is, one of my rewards is I get to suggest a idea for a black and white sketch every month. And so I, of course, this is my first month to be able to do that. So I suggested that she do something Gilmore Girls related. And for February, she's also doing a thing where every day she pulls a conversation heart out of a bag and then draws something based on what is said on the conversation heart. Which, the one that she decided to do for my sketch was XOXO. So she drew, and this is a print off of what she drew, but she drew Lorelai Gilmore with a cup of coffee and it says XOXO Luke on it. This was her first time drawing Lorelai. So I was chatting with her and she was saying, so hopefully the next time it would be better. And I said, well, I guess I'll just have to suggest Gilmore Girls again next month. So I didn't, when I printed this, I didn't know it was going to print this huge. But I saved it so I could show you. I've got a smaller one printed that's above my desk. Yeah, hello, sun. Something else I wanted to talk about. Gosh, it got really dark because of how the sun is. So this is not going to become a podcast about eating habits and things, but I am going to be starting the Whole30 program next Tuesday, the 16th of February. I almost said January. Of February. I've put a link to it in the show notes. There's been several people in the fiber world who have done this and had positive results from it. And there's also a high rate of success in lessening symptoms of several of the health issues I have. So I'm going to give it a try. In a nutshell, it is like rebooting your system. So for 30 days, you cannot have sugar of any type. Grains, any alcohol, any dairy, any legumes. I think that's it in a nutshell. So you can't have that for 30 days, and then at the end of the 30 days, you can decide if you want to go on longer, or you can decide if you would like to slowly introduce a food back in and see how your body reacts to it. I haven't done a whole lot of research on the after the 30 days. I have read a little bit about it, but I wanted to focus on the 30 days. So if anybody is interested in doing Whole30, I would like to do it at the same time as I do it starting next Tuesday. I would love to have a partner to go through it with. I mean, I've got friends that have done it who will be a good support, but I would love to have a partner to do it together with. So if you're interested in that, PM me on Ravelry, Java Pearl, and let's chat about it. So, is there anything else? No. So why don't we talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad? What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of prompts for each month, so you take a picture related to the prompt for that day and post it anywhere you like, but we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right. And this month's theme is alphabet soup, so almost every day has a letter that you take a picture related to. So what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
So here come the photos. So those were our favorite photos. I think we are going to have to rename hashtag GGK Crafty Pad.
Why?
Do you know what I'm going to rename it to?
What?
Hashtag GGK Kitty Pad.
Oh.
Because you almost always pick photos of kitties.
Yes.
You got an eyelash right there. Got it? Yeah, so hashtag GGK Kitty Pad. You would enjoy that if everybody posted kitties every day, all day. So it's never too late to participate, whether you have a kitty or not. We don't. So my pictures don't have kitties in them, usually. Unless we're at somebody's place that has a kitty. So just look at the prompt, take a photo, post it on Instagram. Make sure you include the hashtag GGK Crafty Pad because that's how we find your pictures. And yours might get chosen next week. Let's talk about upcoming events, Tammy.
Edinburgh Yarn Festival on the 18th and 19th of March here in Edinburgh.
Yes, and I'll be vending with our friend Sam of Knit Run Dig Project Backs. And I'll have my new book, and it's going to be a lot of fun, so you should definitely come. And then also, just a reminder, we are getting close to being able to announce the details of Geeky Puffin Knit Palooza 2016, which is a knitting retreat that you and I and our friend Sam of Knit Run Dig Project Bags co-host together. So if you would like to be the first to know about it, there is a link in our show notes to sign up for our newsletter, which is where we'll announce it first. And there's also still a poll going of if you're interested in coming. This doesn't obligate you to anything, but if you're interested in coming and would be interested in taking a spinning class, could you take it's a really quick poll, it'll take you maybe 2 minutes to do, to let us know what type of spinning class you might be interested in so that we can work that out with our spinning teacher. I think that's everything for Yummies. Alright, well let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we're reading and watching, because I forgot to listen to my email again.
Oops.
Yeah.
So did you just remember just now?
No, I realized I didn't have time to do it. Yeah.
You've been busy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with reading. So what are you reading?
I am reading Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I got through it a bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
How far are you?
I don't know, because I've turned the percent and page numbers off, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, are you enjoying it?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, are you reading anything else?
No.
Are you reading anything for school?
I read part of Paradise Lost.
Okay. What'd you think of that?
It was interesting.
That's what you always say.
It is.
It was interesting.
Yes. What are you reading?
A lot of stuff. Oh my gosh. Can you see my list? I didn't realize it was this long. I finished reading Hearing Her Voice, A Case for Women Giving Sermons by John Dixon. I told you last week what I thought of it. I'm done with it. And then I have read the whole 30-day Guide to Total Health and Food Freedom by Melissa Hartwig and Dallas Hartwig, in preparation for starting my Whole 30 next week. I am rereading parts of it now to get me ready, because I'd read the whole thing as an overview, and now I'm rereading parts of it. I am also nonfiction-wise reading, I just started this week, A Travelogue of the Interior, Finding Your Voice in God's Heart in the Psalms by Karen Dabagian. Yes. This was recommended to me by my friend Katie, who has read it and worked through it, because there are journaling portions to it. So, I started it early. I started it before Lent started today, but because it's going to take me a little bit longer than the season of Lent to get through it, I think. So I went ahead and started it early, but I'll be working on it through Lent. So that's all nonfiction-wise. Fiction-wise, I read the Artifact Hunter series by A.W. Exley. I had started it last week, I guess. And I finished reading Nefertiti's Heart, The Missing Mechanical Mouse, Hatshepsut's Collar, Nero's Fiddle, and Mose's Staff. These are not... These have some adult content in them. So... but it was about these artifacts that can, like, actually do things, like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Magical?
Yeah, kind of magical kind of type thing. And this lady is tracking them all down because they're causing problems. So she works for the queen and they're tracking them all down to put them into a safe place. So, and I joined the newsletter of this author, A.W. Exley, and when I did that, I got a free book from the author called Heart of the Kraken, which I read. It wasn't as good as Artifact Hunter series, but I read it. And then I had previously read the books in the Elemental series by Shannon Mayer, and a new one came out, Windburn. So I read that. I didn't think it was as good as the other books in the series. And then I read Red Hot Steel, which is the first book in the Daggers and Steel series by Alex P. Berg. And I enjoyed that. I'm hoping that the rest of the books in the series go on sale because they were a little bit more than I wanted to pay. And then I started another series called Elemental Mystery Series by Elizabeth Hunter. And I'm currently reading the first book called A Hidden Fire. And I'm enjoying it. And I saw that there was a bundle for the rest of the books in the series thus far. So I'll probably will get that and continue reading that. When I'm, like, not reading something, like... When I, like, run out of, like, fiction to read, you know, that I've bought or whatever, I a lot of times will go onto Amazon into the Kindle books and look at all the books that are, like, because quite a few authors, like, will give you the first book for free or for, like, 99 cents, hoping that you'll really like it and then buy the rest of them. So I tend to read quite a few of those very first books in the series to see if I'm interested, and then sometimes I will buy the rest in the series to read them. So I've been doing a lot of reading this week. So, let's talk about some television. Actually, let's talk about a movie, because you and I watched a movie this week.
The Great Gatsby. What did you think?
It has been so long since I read the book that I had forgotten, like, the plot of it. The cinematography and sets and everything were, like, holy crap, amazing. Very much like, what's the other movie?
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, Moulin Rouge.
I'm getting a very Moulin Rouge vibe off this because it's Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah. So, what did you think of it?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read it last year, so I'd kind of forgotten a bit of the plot.
Okay. It had,
Carey Mulligan.
And...
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And...
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
What's his name? Tobey Maguire.
I was going to say Peter Parker.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
It had Carey Mulligan and Leonardo DiCaprio and Spider-Man.
Yep. Okay, do you have anything else you want to say about that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, why don't you start in on the TV then?
Okay, we are rewatching season 4 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Did anything happen?
Klingons.
Oh, yeah.
Lots and lots of Klingons.
Yeah. And we're rewatching season 2 of Star Trek Voyager.
Lizards was last week, right?
Yeah.
What happened last week? We didn't watch a whole lot of it, but I can't remember what it was this week. There was the planet where they aged in reverse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we watched that one where Tuvok got stranded. Okay. I'm watching season 2 of Parenthood, and it continues to remind me of Gilmore Girls. I have discovered if I watch too many episodes in a row that I get kind of melancholy because it's like very dramatic and lots of things happening in this family. So I have to be aware of how many episodes in a row I'm watching at a time. The Hubs and I are watching season 4 of Grimm, and Juliet is a Vesson. She is a hexen beast, and she's kind of gone off the deep end, and they don't know if they can help her because of how she turned into a hexen beast, because of Adeline. She's evil. And now Adeline is pregnant with Nick's baby. Because she turned herself into Juliet to make herself look and appear to be Juliet. And he thought it was Juliet, and it wasn't. And so now she's pregnant with his baby. And what else happened this week? Monroe was taken captive by this sect who has an issue with 2 different species of Vesson intermarrying, because Monroe is a Blutbot and Rosalie is a Fuchsbot, and so they're not the same. But they saved him. So it's all good. Oh, and they told Wu about Vesson and Grimms and everything. Did I tell that last week?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. So now Wu is in on it because he was going off the deep end crazy because he kept seeing when the Vesson would... What's the word? Vogue. Everybody move to the music. That's, yeah. So that's been Grimm. It's kind of grim. So,
okay.
You want to talk now?
Yes, we're watching season 2 of Agent Carter. So we got to see little baby Peggy. And she was saving the princess from the dragon. Aww.
It was cute.
Aww.
We have a new episode to watch tonight.
Yes. And in a flashback, she was wearing a really gorgeous wedding dress.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the spoiler image that you saw that you mentioned last week that I was like, don't tell me.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah. If I don't remember, I think Angie is either in this week's episode or next week's episode.
Okay.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
We shall see tonight when we watch it. We're watching season 10 of the X-Files. We actually have 2 episodes. Last week's episode was a Monster of the Week episode.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was ridiculous.
Yes. And she said, I want to believe. And then the episode we watched last night, her mom died.
Mm-hmm. And
she's grieving also for their son and not having a relationship with him. It was very sad. It was a very emotional episode.
I thought that I was Googling and I thought this was going to be like a full season.
No.
It's only 6 episodes.
6 episodes. And we've already had 4. Because there was 2 the first week. And I can't remember if it's the last 2 episodes or just the last episode is the same title as the beginning one, but from her perspective instead of his.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and then I guess they'll decide if they want to do more after that.
Yeah.
I'm watching season 11 of Supernatural. There were vampires, and Jodie was back with the girls that she had taken in and was taking care of, and the one who had been helping vampires prior to that, vampires came to try to get her. And so, yeah, there was not any really dealt with any of the Lustiel stuff. So hopefully this week we'll get back to that. Do you want to do the next one or you want me to?
We're watching season 3 of The Blacklist.
Monk! What's his real name?
Adrian something?
Yeah, the lead character from Monk. He's also from...
Wings.
Yes. Played a taxi driver.
Mm-hmm.
But he played a character that had a lot of the characteristics of Monk. So that was kind of interesting. And she's still talking about giving the baby up for adoption. So, you're next up too.
We're watching season 4 of Elementary.
Mm-hmm. There was a bomb in the morgue.
Yes.
It's very bad.
Mm.
Very bad. Anything else you want to talk about that?
Mm.
Okay. Colony, we're watching season 1. Are we ever going to see the aliens? Like, how many episodes are we in now? And we've not seen the aliens. I'm beginning to think that maybe the aliens don't really exist. That maybe it's a whole government conspiracy.
Okay there, Agent Mulder.
I want to believe.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm like, where are the aliens? Why aren't we seeing anything about the aliens other than the ship hovering over? Which could be special effects. Mass hallucination.
Special effects. Yeah,
Something in the water.
They got this enormous green screen and they put it over the entire sky of California.
Mm-hmm. It's a mass hallucination. They put stuff in the water.
Okay.
Okay. What else? Big Bang Theory, season 9. Amy found out about the engagement ring that Sheldon has because his mama was there and it's her ring and drama. We're watching series 5 of Call the Midwife. Oh my gosh, crying my eyes out. They're beginning to realize that there's something wrong in the community with so many babies being born with serious deformities. So I think they're going to be addressing that for most of the rest of the series. You're up next.
We're watching season 1 of Supergirl. We saw Baby Clark.
We did see Baby Clark.
Little Baby Clark. Aw.
There was that really weird monster bug thing that was on her. It was making her think that she was back on Krypton. Oh, and what's his name?
Hank.
Yeah, but what's his other name?
John.
Yeah. Him playing Kara. Oh my gosh. It was so funny.
He tried.
He tried really hard.
He gets a gold star.
It was so funny. It was so funny to watch him interact with Kat. But what's his name?
Win?
Yeah. I'm glad you know exactly who I'm talking about. Win and Kara are now okay.
Yes.
Yes, they kind of... And I'm thinking that, what's her name?
Alex?
No.
Kara?
No.
Kat?
No.
Lucy?
Lucy. I'm thinking that Lucy's not going to be around much longer because what's his name?
James.
Yes, him. He seems to be even more interested in Kara, in my opinion. The end. What's your name?
Whose line is it anyway?
Whose name is it anyway?
Where the points are made up and they don't matter. Or
Something like that. The Hubs and I are watching season 9 of Murdoch Mysteries. It was an episode about race last night. It was actually a pretty interesting episode. And I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm doing magic loop on this sleeve and I keep turning it the wrong direction. And then my sleeve ends up twisted, like this. The Hubs and I are watching season 7 of NCIS LA. It's a 2-parter. So we just got the first part last night. So, yeah. And that's all of the television. It was a lot of television. Do you realize that in our podcast, approximately 40 to 50% every week is about television and books?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got it in the title, Geeky Girls Knit. But Geeky Girls also read and watch TV and movies. So, we have some cows to talk about.
Yep.
2 of them. Because it's the second podcast of the month. So we should move on.
And now we're going to talk about our December, January, February, Winter Wonderland Cal and Charity Cow.
That's right. This cow started on the 1st of December and runs through the end of the month, the 29th of February. It's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to winter.
Yes. You're supposed to say how.
How?
You can do it by the colors, it's winter colors, or color name, the purpose, pattern, pattern name, design element, or if you can't think of anything, you made it in the winter.
Yes. We had a few more detailed ones this week. After we talked about it last week, remember?
Yeah.
Every project you finish is one entry into the FO thread. No whips are allowed, so you have to start it December 1st or later and finish it by the end of February. The only exception to the one item is if you're knitting, I'm saying knitting is the general term, something that you're donating to charity, then you can post it twice in the FO thread. Look at the second post in the FO thread for details on how to do that. Feel free to double dip in other cows as long as it fits in the rules. This is a picture of the prizes because we have prizes. If you want to know in detail about the prizes, watch last week's episode or take a look at our show notes where it describes all of the prizes in detail. And thank you to all of our sponsors. We love you guys. You can donate charity items to whatever charity you would like to. If you don't have a place to donate, if you would like to send them to us, we'll be donating to Knit for Peace. Except for preemie hats, we'll be going to Preemies UK because Knit for Peace says they have enough preemie hats right now. So, you must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry to participate. We'll close the thread on March 1st and then announce the winners in the podcast after that. And if you're one of the winners, you'll have 30 days to claim your prize. There's a chatter thread in the Ravelry group. I think that's everything other than people who have finished FOs this week, so why don't you give them a shout out?
A Bingham ×3, Aid Bar, Ahola Knitting ×2, Army Tinko 8 ×2, AZ Knitwit, Baby Boxer Mom ×3, Bing DJ, Celeste ×4, C Howard 06 ×2, Crazy Knitting Fool, Crochet Chick 31, Crouching Cheese, DG White ×4, E Catherine for Love, Eleanor Gamgee, Elk Chan, Ellie 15, Falling Star 12 ×2, Gracie Liss, Infinity Explorer, Kana Soup ×4, Knitty Nurse McGee, Knitter Joe 2, Little Angel SG2, Mantha Mac, May G, Mint Rain ×8, MJ Weber, Muzzer Z ×10, MV Knits, Mystery Sewer ×5, Princess Bumps ×9, Rainbow Ange ×4, Ramona Firehorse ×4, RKM Designs ×3, RS Island Crafts, Silly Mom ×4, VVFB ×3, This Stuff Knits ×2, Twisting Pearls, Vegan Jilly ×2, and Yarny Mom ×2.
Great job, everybody. So you have 19 days from the time we're recording this to finish your projects, so just under 3 weeks. So keep working on them and get them posted, and you might be a winner of one of the amazing prizes we have. All right, well, we have another cow to talk about, so let's move on.
Now we're going to talk about our 52 Weeks of Charity Cow.
Yes. So this cow started on the 1st of January and runs through the 31st of December. It's for any projects that you knit, crochet, or weave that you donate to charity. To be eligible for prizes, you must complete 52 items over the course of 2016. You don't necessarily have to do one a week, but 52 total items. So, like in November when I do Nanny Swemo, I typically don't knit on anything else. So I do my Nanny Swemo sweater and then I'll catch up and do 3 or 4 preemie hats at once, which is fine. So just the idea is to do 52 total. No whips are allowed. It had to be January 1st or later. You can double dip in other cows. So if you're knitting something for charity, you can also put it in our December, January, February cow. You can put it in other podcast cows. So feel free to do that. So when you finish your first project, do a post in the FO thread, and then for every subsequent one, just edit that post. So in the FO thread, you should only have one post, but you edit it each time. There's an example at the top of the thread for how to do that. You can donate your items to any charity you like, just like with the other cow. If you want to send them to us, we'll donate to Knit for Peace and to Preemies UK. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit Ravelry group to participate. There is a hashtag GGK52WOC Weeks of Charity, Cal 16. And we'll lock the thread the morning of the 1st of January 2017 and draw winners on the podcast after that. You'll have 30 days to claim your prize if you win. There's a chatter thread on Ravelry. And then let me tell you about the prizes thus far. So I started it with one skein of West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply in the Holly Berry colorway. For every 7 people who complete 52 items, I will add another skein of West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. In addition to that, we have a couple of people who have donated prizes. Catherine, who is Tia and Kat on Ravelry, donated 2 pom-poms, the Bernay Coral pom-pom and the Lion Brand Black Cat pom-pom. So one will go to 2 different winners. And then Mary, who is Jammin' to Knit, donated 3 single patterns from her Ravelry store. So thank you to our sponsors. We appreciate you. If you have any questions, just post them in the chatter thread and I'll be happy to answer them. I have been watching in the FO thread as new posts have been added to make sure we're putting at the top how many items you've got finished right now, so that I can see it kind of at as a glance as I scroll through, and to make sure everybody's doing only one post instead of separate posts for each item. We have quite a few people participating, so I'm really excited, and hopefully we will have lots of items for charity by the end of the year. And like I said earlier, we only talk about this on the podcast the second podcast of every month, but the details are in the Ravelry group constantly. So I think that's everything about that cow.
Yep.
All right, well, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we answer them.
That's right. So what is this week's question, Amy?
This week's question comes from Joanna, who is Knitter Joe 2 from Kentucky. Are you ever concerned for your stash being stored in the open? I am constantly spraying my open stash with lavender. I was wondering if you do anything special to yours.
The only thing that I do is probably at least every 2 to 3 months, I tend to take everything down and kind of, my purpose is reorganizing it, but it lets me check the skeins and make sure there's not any problems or any critters or anything that have gotten in it. Ugh. Yeah, I know. I have not had a problem at all since we've been here. We've been here for 2.5 years now, and I've been storing my stash up there for that long without a problem. So yeah, I just take it down and just kind of check it over and everything when I'm reorganizing it, and that's the only thing special I do. What about y'all? Do you have open stash? What do you do, if anything, to protect your stash? Come to the thread in our Ravelry group and let us know. So thank you for the question, Joanna. If somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
And we'll answer it. We tend to answer them in order unless it's a time-sensitive question. All right, well, we have some prizes to give away, so we should move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for giveaways.
Yes. So the lovely Dee Marie Prokop, who is another folk singer on Ravelry, a few weeks ago sent us a parcel, and we talked about it when we got it. She sent us the 3 books of her Days of the Guardian series for you and I. And then she also sent 2 sets of the first book in the series, The Red String, and a knitted hat, Leong's red knitted hat, and then a gift bag. So we have 2 prize winners for that. So we had asked people to tell us their favorite book series, and so it was fun to watch everybody try to figure out their favorite, because who doesn't have more than one book series favorite, you know? So we did the Siri random number generator, where I said, Siri, give me a random number between 2 and whatever the number was. And Siri did, and then I asked again and got another one. So, Diami, do you want to tell us who the 2 winners are?
Sure. Number 41, who is Eileen, who is Twisting Pearls. And number 52, who is Anne, who is Beadweasel.
So congratulations, Eileen and Anne. Twisting Pearls and Beadweasel. I need you both to PM me on Ravelry. I'm Java Pearl, with your full name and mailing address, so we can get these out in the post to you. You have 30 days to claim your prize. And then just a reminder that we have the Take Heart, A Transatlantic Knitting Journey by Fiona Alice giveaway ongoing. We reviewed her book in last week's episode, and we have a copy of the print book with the digital code in it to give away to one person. It's made me laugh how many people love the thigh-high leg warmers. I think there's a lot of us that probably want to knit those. So, what podcast was I watching? I can't remember, but somebody was talking about that she and a friend were knitting through the entire book. So that was kind of cool. So, if you have not entered that giveaway, go to our Ravelry group and tell us your favorite pattern from the book, and you might be the winner next week. All right, well, we have we have at least one exciting announcement, so we should move on to the next segment. All right, we made it to the end.
Yep.
Apologies for the breaks we had to take. Like I said at the beginning, we've all been sick, and so it just happens. So, the exciting announcement I want to tell you. So, my book that's coming out in mid-May, Coffee with Cece, a 7-pattern caffeine-inspired knitting collection. So, the print book pre-orders continue to go on my website.
JavaProDesigns.com.
That's right. I have decided that I am going to go ahead and start ebook pre-orders as well. I had thought that I would wait until the print book released, but there's been some interest in the ebook, so I thought I would go ahead and do it. So what's going to happen is you're going to be able to pre-order it on Ravelry, the ebook version, and right now there's a PDF. So if you make the purchase, there's a PDF there that just says Coffee with CC coming mid-March. On Thursday, March the 17th, I will update that with the full ebook, and an update will be sent to your Ravelry library, and the book will then be there in your Ravelry library on Thursday, March 17th. So the print book is $18 US, which includes the digital download code in the book. The ebook only is $16 US. So by the time you're watching this, the ebook pre-orders will have gone live. So if you're wanting to get the ebook only version, you should head right over to Ravelry and get it. There will be a link to it on my website.
JavaProDesigns.com.
Yes, sorry, I dropped a stitch, so I was trying to fix it. To be able to get it. So I hope that y'all are as excited as I am. Do we have anything else other than normal announcements? No. Okay. A huge thank you to our Patreon supporters. We love you guys a lot. I just did Patreon rewards for January, and sent out some postcards with coupon codes and awarded a pattern, and we have a VKN coming up. I think it's next Thursday afternoon, for that reward level. If you're not sure what Patreon is, it is a website where you can sponsor different things like artists and podcasts and things like that. So we have one for the podcast. We are saving the money that we are receiving to be able to upgrade some of the technology that we use to produce the podcast. So if you are able to help us with that, you can go to patreon.com/geekygirlsnet. If you're not able to help us in that way, it's not a problem, but we just wanted to make this opportunity available in case you can help us in that way. And we say thank you so much to the generosity of those who are supporting us in that way. If you'd like to make a one-time donation to the podcast, you can go to our website,
geekygirlsnet.com,
and there's a PayPal button at the top right. We are also Amazon.com and Amazon.co.uk affiliates. So if you go to our website first and click on the link to Amazon.com or .co.uk and then purchase your stuff as normal, Amazon gives us a little money back. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and we don't know who is buying what. We just see a list of what has been sold. And that money we use to pay for shipping of prizes and business cards and badges and all those kinds of things. Thank you to those of you who have been doing that. So I think that's everything. So Dammy, why don't you tell them where to find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are the links to everywhere else we are online: YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
That's right. So with that, we'll tell you goodbye. We hope you have a lovely rest of your week. We hope that your family is not dealing with illness like ours is. Because, gosh, it's hard to get stuff done when you're not feeling well. So, with that, happy knitting. And we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye. Do 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 do.
The truth is out there.
Ta-da!
X-Files by Naomi. She said,
I am the X-Files.
I liked when they did when the flashlights cross.
Yeah.
To make the X.
My hands aren't straight.
The truth is out there.